Oh my gosh, I've just arrived at the Andaz Hotel in Mexico City, located in the beautiful neighborhood of Condesa. Let's take a tour. The Andaz Hotel in Mexico City is a 5-star luxury boutique hotel located in the Condesa area of the city, which is known for being a residential enclave with fabulous boutique hotels, restaurants, and bars, as well as pretty boutique for shopping. Head up the iconic escalators that glow purple and pink neon, and then you'll head right into the check-in area. The check-in desk sits across from some leather chairs so you can rest and relax with an espresso or a glass of water while waiting for your room. Out of the elevator, you'll see that the hallways are filled with beautiful Mexican artwork. Let's take a tour of our suite. It's a terrace suite. You'll see there's a dining table as well as a little living room nook with a television, a record player, and some really cool Mexican pop art that can be found throughout the accommodations at the Andaz in Mexico City. We're now going to step out into the sun-soaked terrace. There are 2 comfy chairs. Just imagine yourself having a lovely espresso in the morning watching the sunrise over Condesa. As we walk along the patio, we're going to step into our beautiful king-size bedroom. There's also a work desk on the right and a big screen, flat screen TV. And into the bathroom, we've got a his and hers sink, as well as a shower and a romantic soaker tub. There's a fabulous wellness program at the Andaz Mexico City. Pasana Spa is where you want to start your wellness adventure. It's sun-soaked. You can see there's floor-to-ceiling windows all throughout the hotel, which makes it feel very, very bright. At the spa, you'll see orchids, as well as a little retail shop that sells local Mexican handmade soaps, as well as lotions and other elixirs for people that have just come out of a fresh facial. There's also a beauty salon so you can get your hair done. Also, there's manicures and pedicures that are available at the spa. I signed up for a signature massage treatment. Guests start off their experience wrapped in a robe in this comfortable wellness and relaxation area. And then this is the romantic couples treatment room. So if you're traveling with a special someone, we recommend booking this room where you can have massages in tandem. It also has a big giant jacuzzi tub which you can enjoy after your treatment. If you're looking to work out on holiday, the fitness center has a Pilates and yoga studio, as well as really high quality techno gym equipment, everything from treadmills to elliptical machines and plenty of free weights. Now we're going to check out the restaurant concepts. Portico is the breakfast restaurant. It's located right out of the lobby. There's a fabulous giant sculpture there. There's also a Rolls Royce and a Mustang, a red Mustang. So car lovers will really enjoy skipping across here each morning on their way to breakfast. This is the outdoor terrace, so you can enjoy your breakfast outside in the sun or skip inside and enjoy the spacious dining room. Let's check out the breakfast buffet, which includes juices, cereal, tons of fresh fruit. We've got granola, as well as several different yogurts and parfaits, and classic French patisserie. There's also a vegan corner, which is a really nice highlight for people vegetarian. There's also charcuterie, cheese, prepared sandwiches, and a bakery section for toast and bagels. This is the a la minute egg station. Of course, they have a Mexican corner with tons of different salsas, pico de gallo, guacamole, and nachos, so you can make your own chilaquiles. They've also had tamales and some other hot Mexican dishes. I got a cappuccino, and off the menu I ordered their signature Andaz Mexican Eggs Benedict. Another option for breakfast is Derba Matcha Cafe. It's really a perfect idea if you're looking to grab and go and don't have time to sit down for the buffet breakfast. It's located right at the top of the escalators near the check-in desk. You can see there's tons of indoor seating, as well as plenty of fresh foliage. I noticed plenty of locals working on their laptops here, as well as hotel guests coming to grab these famous cookies. Look at these cookies. They're topped with Snickers bars, marshmallows, chocolate bars, macarons, shortbread cookies, and just everything's made in-house. Really great espresso products. They even have a wine bar, and then the pastry chef makes all of these really avant-garde French pastries, croissants, and baguette. They also have loose leaf tea. If you like matcha, of course, order from their matcha menu. This is another just great view of the interior. Look up there's these honeycomb ceilings so that the sun just soaks in here. It really is, it almost feels like you're like having a coffee or a tea inside of a cave with a well-lit rooftop. Look at that, amazing. Rooftop Beer Garden is one of the coolest sports bar concepts I've ever come across. The canine-themed sports bar has everything your pet could love, but it's specially made for pet lovers. You'll see foosball, billiards. There's tons of TV screens, so it's really popular to come here to watch sports matches. But then they also have actual like snack menus for your dog. You can see they even sell dog paraphernalia like leashes and treats for the canine lovers in your life. As we turn right here, you'll see there's even like a sporting area with arcade games on video screens as well as darts. So if you are looking for a sports bar vibe and have a canine, come on down. They also have a jukebox, tons of seating. The exterior, which is the terrace area, is the most popular. So let's head out onto the terrace and see what this woofy situation looks like. So you're gonna see a sun-soaked terrace with all these lovely hanging couch cushions. There's a ping pong table, and then the restaurant here works out of a trailer. So the rooftop offers everything from burgers to tacos. It's really like comfort food at its finest. You can see there's tons and tons of seating here, and locals in the Condesa neighborhood that have dogs love to come here. You can even see that they have a leash-free dog area with a fenced-in area with dog toys and even more seating in the sun. It's just fabulous. If you're a lover of sunsets, aficionado for craft cocktails, and fan of the fish, head to Capullo Rooftop on the hotel's 17th floor. The vibe is immaculate. You've got wicker glowing overhead lamps, lots of fresh foliage, and really cool street art splashed across the walls. This is also the location of the hotel's pool, so while you're dining, you can actually watch people swim, which is kind of fun. If you're a hotel guest, come for a plunge. There are a selection of lounge chairs, tan, read a book, and enjoy immaculate views overlooking Mexico City. Pop up at the bar and watch as the mixologists shake together something delicious. I ordered 2 tipples. One was a fabulous smoky mezcal number, and the other was a classic tequila margarita. The menu has a strong focus on seafood, so if you're a fan of the fish, you're gonna love this restaurant. I ordered a tender ribeye taco, tempura shrimp tacos, as well as tuna tostadas, which were absolutely delicious. We just know you're gonna love the Andaz in Mexico City. If it's your first visit to Mexico City, first stop needs to be the National Museum of Anthropology. It's the largest and most visited museum in Mexico, and by many, it's considered the best museum in all of Latin America and one of the world's best museums, up there with the Louvre in Paris and the Met in New York City. It was designed in 1964. The monumental building contains exhibition halls surrounding a courtyard with a huge pond and a vast square concrete umbrella that's supported by a single slender pillar. The halls are ringed by gardens, many of which contain outdoor exhibits. The museum has 23 rooms for exhibits and covers an astonishing 80,000 square meters. The museum contains significant archaeological and anthropological artifacts from Mexico's pre-Columbian heritage, such as the Stone of the Sun, also known as the Aztec calendar stone, which you can see here and is likely the most photographed. The museum opens at 10 a.m. We recommend arriving by 9:45 a.m. to get there before the line starts. There's lots of children from schools that are there Monday to Friday. On weekends, it'll get quite busy with families. Sunday is free museum day, so expect a bit of chaos, but you can save some money if you attend on Sunday. We recommend spending at least 2 hours here. I ran through the museum on this visit in 2 hours, but you can really spend 3 to 4 hours here. When you're walking through the Anthropology Museum, you're regularly going to see doors that are open into a garden. Make sure to always step outside because this unique museum has exhibits that are both inside and outdoors. You can see huge recreated Mayan and Aztec temples just like you're seeing here. It's really phenomenal. You're going to love your visit. Next door, you're going to find Museo Tamayo. This museum was founded in 1981 by artist Rufino Tamayo. It was the first major museum in Mexico built with private funds. The museum's pyramidal shape is inspired by pre-Hispanic architecture. It's designed to integrate with the surrounding Chapultepec Park. The museum's collection includes works by many famous artists, including Picasso, O'Keeffe, and Moreau. Next stop is the Diego Rivera Mural Museum, which houses one of Diego Rivera's most famous works called Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in the Alameda Central, which is one of Mexico City's most beautiful parks, and it's just right outside the door of the museum, so on a weekend you'll see lots of kids and families playing in water fountains on a hot sunny day. The mural was originally painted for the Hotel del Prado Misión in 1947. The museum was built in 1986 after the hotel was destroyed in an earthquake. Today, you can visit on a Sunday for free or any day of the week except Mondays when it's closed. We recommend visiting and joining with a guide who can help explain the importance of all of the famous Mexican characters and historic figures located within the mural. One of my favorite attractions in Mexico City was Museo de Arte Popular. This is the perfect attraction to take families with kids, although adults just like me will have a blast on their own. The museum is located in a former firehouse in the historic center of the city. The museum is known for sponsoring the annual Noche de Alabrejas parade, which features large-scale Mexican folk art sculptures of fantastical creatures that parade from the Zocalo to the Angel of Independence Monument. The museum's fantastical collection includes textiles, pottery, glass, piñatas, and even folk art furniture. We're going to take a little tour through here, and I'm going to share some of my favorite snippets from the museum. If you're a fashion lover, you're going to love these mannequins dressed in classic Mexican folk fashions. This is the room that has all of the Mexican devils, which are surrounded, interestingly, by all of the Catholic iconography, Virgin Marys. This is a wall covered in folk masks. If you're a mask lover like me, you're gonna love this. Some of the masks even are made with animals. The most photographed room at the museum is filled with skeletons. If you're a fan of the Disney Pixar film Coco that really dives into the Day of the Dead and all of the skeleton iconography, you will really enjoy checking out this room where there's some hilarious skeletons and skulls, which is really keeping in touch with the Mexican culture. There's also this gallery filled with brightly, beautifully painted iconography with Adam and Eve, a beautiful peacock, so lots of animals. We've also got a jaguar and a crocodile, and another one of these fabulous parade features, beautiful masks. This gallery you can see behind is an active volcano, but these are small-scale versions of the large parade mystical creatures that get used during the festive season. We even have terracotta murals, and that last room has impressive wicker weaving. Our next stop is the Palacio de Bellas Arts. This is a gorgeous building and one of Mexico City's most famous architectural monuments. Palacio de Bellas Arts was first constructed in 1905, but was complicated by the heavy marble shell that sank into the ground. The theater's curtain is made of glass and weighs 24 tons. It was made in New York City's Tiffany House and depicts the Valley of Mexico. The palace is home to the National Theater, the National Dance Company, the National Symphony Orchestra, the National Opera Company, and the ballet. The building's walls are decorated with murals by Diego Rivera, José Clemente Orozco, David Alfaro Siqueiros, Rufino Tamayo, and Jorge González Camarena. The theater's ceiling is a circular stained glass window designed by Geza Martol, which depicts Apollo and the 9 Muses. We recommend visiting on a Sunday when entry is free, but you can come any day of the week. There are 3 floors of murals, and I have to say you're going to feel like you've been on a Stairmaster. There's lots of exercise to get up these steps. If you have a disability, they do have an elevator, making it perfectly accessible to everyone. Next stop is the National Museum of Art, which is located just down the street in the heart of the historic district of the city. It was founded in 1982 and located in the former Palace of Communications, which was designed by Italian architect Silvio Contri. The museum's collection is spread out across 5,500 square meters of exhibition space, and its collection is divided into 3 periods: colonial, post-independent, and post-revolution. It includes works by some of Mexico's most famous artists, such as Diego Rivera, José Clemente Orozco, and David Alfaro Siqueiros. You'll also find folk art, photography, sculptures, engravings, antique furniture, and beautiful palace-like rooms with alfrescoes on the ceiling. If you're a fan of religious iconography and art history, you will really appreciate the number of Virgin Marys, depictions of Jesus and different parables from the Bible. It's really interesting to see how Mexican artists have interpreted the Catholic faith here, which is such an important part of Mexican life. There's huge rooms filled with massive paintings of the religious background of the country, but also really amazing indigenous artwork that tells stories of historic indigenous Mexican figures from the Aztec period and up until colonialism. This room was one of my favorites. It's filled with white marble sculptures. We can continue walking through the sculpture gallery and see that they juxtapose paintings with sculpture. There's also some really fun paintings. This is one of Bacchus, and even some contemporary, more modern depictions. The National Museum of Art really is located in an impressive building with fantastic art from ancient to modern. Our next stop is Museo de Arte Moderno, which opened in 1964 in Chapultepec Park. The museum's organic-shaped building was designed to respond to the landscape and surrounding trees in the area. If you stand on the rest platform of the staircase and yell or clap, the upper vault echoes the sound, which is something you have to do. It's really fun. The museum's permanent collection includes works by famous Mexican artists like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. This museum is also free on Sundays, so highly recommend planning a trip to the park to visit 3 or 4 museums in one day until your feet feel like they're gonna fall off. You're really gonna get to see an inspiring collection of Mexican modern art, contemporary takes on sculpture, paintings, photography, and make sure to visit the museum's sculpture garden featuring works by Matthias Goeritz, Angela Guerriere, and many others. On a sunny day, it's really nice to skip through the park before heading to Museo Soumaya. What we love about this museum is that it's free every day of the week. Guests are greeted by this sculpture, which is the iconic Thinker by Rodin. The museum's eye-popping building was designed by Mexican architect Fernando Romero. The striking architecture boasts a mirrored exterior featuring 16,000 hexagonal steel panels and a circular interior. As soon as you walk into the museum, you'll see ginormous Michelangelo busts of Moses and the David, as well as the famous Pietà. The collection includes the world's largest collection of pre-Hispanic colonial coins, as well as works by Diego Rivera, Titian, Picasso, Monet, and many, many more. Museo Soumaya is unique in that it's one of the only free museums in the city, and it's one of the only attractions in the city that's open 7 days a week. So if you find yourself in Mexico City on a Monday and you're twiddling your thumbs and wondering what to do, head to this museum because it's one of the only attractions that are available on a Monday. The museum's striking top floor has a column-free exhibition hall with a translucent roof, which plays home to the world's largest collection of casts of sculptures by Auguste Rodin outside of France. We recommend spending at least 2 hours at this museum, but you can spend even more time here. The locals will give you advice on visiting this museum. They'll tell you, when you arrive, head to the top floor in the elevator and walk your way down. It's much easier on your legs. That's a hot tip for people who have sore feet. Across the street, you'll find Museo Jumex, which is also free Tuesday to Sunday, so we recommend visiting the museums back-to-back. The building was designed by British architect David Chipperfield and was his first project in Latin America. The museum's collection is considered one of the largest collections of contemporary art in Latin America, and it includes works by Andy Warhol, Gabriel Orzocco, and Cy Twombly. The museum's unique lighting system takes into account factors like the time of day, season, and the art itself. If you're looking for a truly oddball, or dare I say weird experience in Mexico City, head to the Antique Toy Museum of Mexico. Mexican-born Japanese collector Roberto Shimizu has amassed more than 1 million toys in his lifetime, and this jumbled 4-floor museum showcases about 60,000 pieces, ranging from life-size robots to dusty, tiny action figures. The museum collection is the result of the merger of 2 stores that sold toys between Christmas and the Feast of Three Kings. Its collection spans from the 19th century to the 1980s and includes toys, games, dolls, and other objects from everyday life in Mexico, like this gallery that specifically highlights Mexican wrestling. Now, to be honest, sometimes skipping through this museum can feel like you've stepped into a hoarder's house. The Murals along all of the staircases really liven up the mood though. On the rooftop, make sure not to forget to skip up here because there's graffiti, beautiful street art all along the top floor of the museum. So we can skip through here and see really funny depictions of street art in Mexico. One of the last rooms is quite hilarious, should be adults only. They have a collection of vintage black and white Mexican pinup girls. There's also some really hilarious magazine covers which are quite lewd. If you're a book nerd, head to Biblioteca Vasconcelos, which has been dubbed one of the world's must-visit libraries. It was designed by Albert Koch and Juan Palomar. The library is over 400,000 square feet, and it feels like you are in a spaceship. Grab an elevator and head to the very top to get really beautiful views. The bookshelves are part of the building structure, so the spines of the books create a colorful display. When I visited, there were plenty of tourists taking pictures, but you'll also see lots of locals here doing work, researching, and also enjoying the reconstructed whale skeleton by Gabriel Orozco, which hangs in the lobby. Make sure to slowly skip under this whale skeleton. It's the perfect place to take a library selfie when in Mexico City. If you're a plant lover, head out to the Rooftop Botanical Garden on a sunny day. It's a lovely respite from the hustle and bustle of the city. We're going to hop on a bus and take a 1-hour trip north of the city to the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Its claim to fame is that it's the most visited Catholic church on earth, second to the Vatican. The circular shape of the basilica symbolizes the tent that housed the Ark of the Covenant during the desert journey. Every year, some 20 million pilgrims visit the sanctuary, of which about 9 million do so in the days around December 12th, which is the day on which Our Lady of Guadalupe is celebrated. The Virgin of Guadalupe appeared to a man named Juan Diego in Mexico in 1531. She holds a special place in the culture and religious life of many Mexican and Mexican Americans. The Virgin of Guadalupe is the patroness of the Americas, from Chile to Canada. The complex includes a basilica, an ancient church, a gift shop, a museum, as well as a library. Don't forget to visit the really cool contemporary clock, which is this fabulous sculpture that's in the square, and it also has an Aztec calendar. Since it's Sunday, we're taking ourselves to church twice. Now we're in the historic district of the city, visiting Mexico City's Metropolitan Cathedral, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We visited during an actual special celebration. There were people dressed in indigenous clothing. You can even see outside the cathedral in the square, there was this demonstration of all these red painted skulls, and they were lighting a fire with all these flowers and drums. It was quite the scene. It's the largest and oldest cathedral in Latin America, built on top of a small temple and next to the Aztec Templo Mayor, which we will visit next. It's believed that the cathedral's construction materials actually came from the destroyed Aztec pyramids and structures, and we know today that there are still Aztec pyramids located beneath the cathedral. The cathedral has two of the largest 18th century organs in all of the Americas, and was also home to a crypt that contains the remains of many former archbishops. The cathedral's chapels are dedicated to different saints and were sponsored by religious guilds. Immediately after, we suggest heading to Templo Mayor Museum, which is located directly across from the square where the Metropolitan Cathedral is located. The museum first opened in 1987 and today displays over 7,000 objects found during the excavations of the site. The Templo Mayor was dismantled after the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire. During the height of the Aztecs, the Templo Mayor was the world's third largest pyramid, towering some 200 feet high into the sky. Visitors to the museum can enjoy a unique historic juxtaposition, skipping through the ancient Aztec temple while staring up at the city's Catholic cathedral in the distance. The museum vividly recreates the duality of life and death, water and war, agriculture and tribute. It shows the political, military, and aesthetic relevance of the ancient city of Tenochtitlan. The museum includes offerings, burials, stages of construction, and objects from the colonial occupation. If you're only visiting Mexico City for 24 hours or a really quick connection, while I do absolutely adore the Anthropology Museum, The Templo Mayor Museum has a lot of similar ancient Mexican art pieces, and it's much smaller, and you can do it in about an hour or two. So if you're time crunched, highly recommend Templo Mayor Museum. As I was walking to Chapultepec Castle, I stopped by the new Botanical Garden, which opened in 2006 and spreads out across a 5.3 hectare site. There's lots of outdoor gardens, but the ornate glass house with its stained glass roof is a must-see. The garden has more than 300 varieties of plants, including pollinators, edible plants, succulents, wetland plants, and 14 species of wild dahlias, agave, and cacti. If it's a beautiful sunny day, a stop into the Botanical Garden, which is free, is a must if you are a green thumb and horticulture fan. Last stop on our Mexico City adventure is Chapultepec Castle, which is famous for being the site of the Battle of Chapultepec during the Mexican-American War, where young cadets known as Niños Heros, which means boy heroes, died defending this castle. Chapultepec translates to Grasshopper Hill in the language of the Aztec people. The castle is now a National History Museum, housing artifacts from Mexico's rich past. It was originally built as a summer residence for Spanish viceroys during colonial times, and later served as the official residence of Mexican presidents until 1934, when it was converted into a museum. We recommend visiting on a weekday because weekends this place gets packed full of families with kids. The interiors are really jaw-dropping. It really gives you a very similar experience to visiting beautiful palaces in Europe because the design features everything from ornate ceilings with chandeliers. You can even peer into rooms with pianos, see the bedrooms of former royalty, beautiful stained glass with black and white checkered floors. The terrace has beautiful views overlooking the city. Just before leaving the castle, take a look at the sculptures that pay an homage to the brave soldiers that protected this castle. Mexico City is North America's largest city, and I think after watching this video, you can see that you can easily spend a week here running around, visiting cathedrals, art galleries, museums, and more. We just know you're gonna love the Mexican capital.